we provide, but we do not lose sight of the functionality part. It has to be very friendly for the occupants, and sometimes we place a lot of emphasis on family living. That is what stands us apart from other developers sometimes. That's why we have a lot of very successful EC projects. We place a lot of emphasis on functionality, on usability. This brings us through to from design of the unit, the sizing of the room, the provision of spaces. For example, in key residences, the recently launched project, you can see we have a storeroom in every unit. It provides a lot of utility space that through the years, I think, as developers try to reduce the unit sizes, a lot of these get lost along the way. But your cluster will not get lost along the way. You still have to go somewhere. So we always keep that in mind when we design units. But besides that, we also look for very functional materials. We try out a lot of very innovative materials. For example, in here, later the architects will show, we have used a new large format tiles for the kitchen and the backsplash, which is very heat resistant and easy to maintain. So functional doesn't only mean providing a unit design that's functional. We choose a lot of good material and appliances. Here, the appliances we are giving is quite a high-end. I wouldn't say high-end, it's a mid-range appliances that usually you don't see in EC. This is a Bosch kitchen, hood, hob, and oven. We also provide good wares and good toilet fittings. So it shows how we go the extra mile to make the unit very functional and usable for the owners. But of course, like I mentioned, the unit has also need to be innovatively designed to cater for the new generation. Here, we have our signature unit design with the kitchen facing the front. Some of those units is available here, which a lot of EC buyers love. Even private condo buyers also like. Okay, so functional yet innovative design for our home users. Another thing that we are very proud of is that we always enhance the value of the product. We always give a lot of, it means that sometimes we have gained a reputation in the market of trying to do very difficult projects and make it very successful. A lot of our owners have, in the process, make money along the way. Because why? In the first place, Hub, Sunway, we always price our project very reasonably. So there's always, in the future, upside for them. For example, 100 Farms, the very famous project, sold out in 7 hours. Now, just after moving, most of the home buyers are up by 200,000-300,000. So there's a lot of track records from the past, how we enhance the value of our development, and in the end, everybody benefits, creating value out of the project for everyone. Thirdly, quality product. We always work with our partner contractor and try to focus on the detailing, try to focus on the construction to make sure we deliver a quality product to the end user. With, there's no way to eliminate effects. That is impossible, but we keep it to the minimum, keep it to a very reasonable level. That is why in most of the recent BCA award ceremony, Hub consistently awarded with very high level of recognition. We have been recognized as the quality champion, either Gold Plus or Platinum, for 4 years running, from 2017, 18, 19, and this year, 2020. So if you go to BCA website and check out the records for Conquest and QM, okay, this is what it is. Two schemes, Conquest and QM quality mark, is basically from BCA to rate how developers deliver their units to end user. Quality mark is voluntary, Conquest is mandatory. Construction quality assessment system. And if you look at the rank of top 10 developers, Our Hub is actually at number 3. Above many other developers in Singapore. So I would say that this proves that our product in the market is always of a very high quality, and when we deliver to the buyers, we spare no effort to make it as high quality as possible. Just a side note, Straits Construction, the main coin in this project, is also number 3 in the listing of the top 10 contractors in the market. Because of this, and because of the product that we deliver, Our Hub has been named the top 10 developer in BCI Asia Award for 2017. But it's not official yet. We are very proud that a lot of our projects are very well recognized in the industry. Sophia Hill is one of the projects recently that have won a lot of awards. This has even won the FIAPC International for a mid-rise project. It's like an Oscar of real estate. This is our first FIAPC International Heritage Award from URA and many others. So like I mentioned, we have a lot of very successful projects, especially EC. This one has become, I think, quite legendary. Anyone work on this project here? Can you remember that day? Sold out in 7 hours. I think can't see that anymore now. The crowd and the experience. Even after that, River Cove residents sold very well, 80% on the first day. Parc, the most recent EC that we launched, even in the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, just before Chinese New Year, I remember, we were agile enough to adapt, and we managed to sell 64% in one day, about 1 year ago. And last weekend, we also quite successfully launched key residences. So this shows that we are not only a developer that only do it EC, we are also quite well adapted to do higher end development. So these are the various track records. I think I don't want to sell too much koyo, but if your buyers are interested in, you can educate them a bit on the profile of the developer. Okay? Okay, let's come down to Parc Central itself. Do you all know where the site is? Anyone went around there? So those agents who have gone, who have done Alps and Tapestry would be very familiar with that place. Actually, 7 years ago, Sunway also launched an EC near there. I think we are the first along that stretch to launch. That is up at Tampines here. which was also quite well received, sold out before our TOP. And then subsequently, all the private condos started to appear along Avenue 10, become a private residential enclave. Now we are back in one full circle. From here, we are launching another EC to close the loop. Parc Central Residence here. Okay, this site, we are now here in Tampines Central. After 7 years, I think there's a lot of development now in Tampines. Tampines has really changed tremendously and become really a regional center. So there's definitely a lot of interest and attraction in the area, not least by all the commercial, retail, and all the social amenities you see around us. I think Raymond will bring us through that. No, later I will show you all the different things that is happening in Tampines. It's really a very exciting town now. And the best of all, there has been no EC in the East for the last 8 years, at least. The last EC in the East was City Life, also in Tampines. So imagine the amount of pent-up demand there is in this part of Singapore. So you have catchment from Pasir Ris, from Bedok, from Simei, and Tampines itself. This is, I haven't Googled, but it's a very big proportion of the population in Singapore. Near our location, you have all these amenities: IKEA, Bedok Reservoir, Tampines Mall, of course, Tampines Hub, the very brand new social amenity market, and just down Tampines Expressway, we will be at Jewel, the new Crown Jewel in Changi area. Education-wise, lots of choices. We are still checking whether we are within 1 click of St. Hilda. We are still checking with the authority. Hopefully, at least a few blocks in Parc Central will be within 1 click to St. Hilda. Then that will be really attractive to a lot of young families. Of course, the Temasek Poly, Meridian, private school as well. Okay. Connectivity-wise, we are near 3 MRT lines. 3 MRT stations: Tampines MRT West, Tampines West, and Tampines North MRT, which is under construction. We will be providing shuttle bus. Oh, okay. So we are also near Tampines Expressway, Pan Island Expressway, and there's something called the Bartley Viaduct, which is the outer ring road. From there, you can very quickly go around the island to places like Alexander and to Braddell Road area. Then the last thing that I want to mention is this future growth story that is very important to the development in the future 10-20 years. So this whole piece here used to be it's now currently Paya Lebar Air Base. In 2030s onward, it will be moved out. This whole area is equivalent to 5 Toa Payoh New Town. And there's already been, there are already plans for this whole area to be developed into a new generation new town with improved connectivity, greenery, park connectors, car-free and walkable neighborhood, and commercial hub with jobs and amenities for future residents. This is not from us, this is from URA. And where are we? We are right at the edge here. So the residents can really make full use of this connectivity to the future Paya Lebar New Town, because it's just next to us. So that is the story, the future growth story that we can be very confident about. Okay, I think enough from talking for me. I will hand this over to Raymond, ATTP, to give you a little bit more detail on the design. Thank you.
Adam just mentioned, we are actually only about 1.6 kilometers to the central. So this is very, very convenient. You want to go to the park and all that, it's only 1.15 to the nearby Bedok Reservoir. Yeah, Bedok Reservoir. To this Bedok Reservoir. I used to stay somewhere in the west. So one of the things that I realized is every time I need to go to the airport, I need to plan at least 1 hour to 1.5 hours in advance. Traffic jams, things like that. Buildings actually are sited away from them. Yet that means the gable wall ends are actually facing the noise source, potential noise source. And then of course, multi-story car park that is maybe along the HDB, we tilted the building away so that we are not facing directly. And then also there's very few there's no west facing unit. Most of them are north-south facing. Yeah. And then of course, there's also overhead bridge along the Tampines Avenue 10. This one, what we do is we actually have incorporated a side gate to make it very convenient for the resident in future to go to the future bus stop. Project information. Okay, site area is about 24,933. Plot ratio 2.8. Land tenure, of course, 99 years. Total development, there we have 11 blocks. Of 16 stories, they're all equal height, and then number of units 700. Okay, and then the ceiling height is standard 2.7 floor to floor. Okay, sorry, clear ceiling height. Of course, the top floor, you get a high volume ceiling of 4.5 to the living and dining. Car park is only one level, and all of them are at basement. What it means is that you get to enjoy a lot of landscape space. Yeah. And then a number of car park lots, 1:1, very good. And then a 5 handicap lot, and then 117 bicycle lots. Yeah. Now this Tampines place is actually quite near to a lot of cycling area. I think some of you cyclists over here, you would know. And then of course, refuse disposal system, we are using pneumatic system, which is a very clean system using the suction. We are not only providing for the general waste, also recycle waste as well. So it's pneumatic. Architecture design concept. This is very exciting. You heard of Central Park in New York? Okay, this is one of the most one of the most famous park, urban park in the world. Yeah. What is so special about this park is that people can actually stay just next to the park. That means you have to enjoy the urban living and yet the nature just next to you. You can see over here, this is a vast greenery, which we also have in this development. We have a central space, in fact, two central space for the residents to enjoy. Okay, and then we also have two thematic, so-called the clubhouse. Yeah. So this is actually the spinning off of the whole story. Yeah. If you look at the Central Park, we study them a little bit in detail. They actually break down into three so-called sections. And inside there, there's three major water bodies. So the one on the top, the middle reservoir, and also there's lakes. Yeah. So we are actually using this concept and actually apply it to our development. So, okay, the site layout. So that's why we call it in row, okay? And then they don't face a very large pool. Usually it's actually a linear. This is something very, very different that you must emphasize to the buyer. So, of course, the detail, I'll let Anne elaborate a little bit more later. Okay, in terms of circulation, you can see over here. Okay, the yellow color depicts the so-called the vehicular entrance. You come in, you drop off, a grand drop off, then you go down into the basement. And then, of course, if you exit, you go straight up. For the pedestrian, they come in, they go straight into the so-called the drop-off area, and then they are fronted by a large open space of 50-meter pool. Yeah. Apart from that, we also have put in two side gates, one along the Tampines Avenue 10 on top, and then, of course, along Avenue 5. Yeah, for the convenience of the residents. Yeah, because there's bus stop along here and future bus stop along the Tampines Avenue 10. Yeah. While waiting for the pause, maybe you'd like to stretch a little bit. Okay. The next, I want to touch on some of the views that this development offers. As just now Wai Leong has mentioned, it's fantastic. You can see the way that we lay out the design. Okay, the building actually surrounds the major central space. So all of them look into the pool, and also, of course, the central point where the clubhouse is. Yeah. Likewise for all these units. Okay, all this has pool view in the central. And then those units, these three blocks also have a very nice green space. Of course, if you look, okay, you look out, you can actually see a very nice distance view as well, the orange color. This. The orange color units not only look into the landscape in the center, they also have the towards the Bedok Reservoir.
So there is a bit of those units with the yellow arrow. I think most of you who have done like TPE and PIE, you know that view will look very nice. For the on-top view along Avenue 10. So that is the attraction for those units. Of course, the other units looking into the pool view are very nice. There are two main landscape areas. But what I want to point out is something that normally people don't like. The view don't like. They don't like this kind of view. What are those views? Beam center view. Substation view. Those are things that people don't like, right? Very hard to sell, right? Must talk until how come all that is why, right? Do we have those views there?
No. So all the units, okay, all the so-called the bin center, they are all tucked below. Yeah, that means away from site. Yeah, you can't even, you don't, if I don't mention, you don't even know where are those spaces. Bin center, substation, they are all at the basement. On top of that, of course, we also have the sunken tennis court, so that when people play, you don't get the glare and the noise. Yeah, you minimize. Yeah. And then when it comes to distance, fantastic. The site itself is 112 by 203. Okay, almost 100 by 200 meters long. Yeah. So within that, of course, the pool size is about 87 meters. Okay, and then the front, 45 meters. Okay, even the closest you get is 19 meters. This is only 16 floors. So 1-to-1 ratio is very good. Okay, and then of course to the neighbor, about 78 meters. These are all approximate. And then of course 67, 80, and 20, almost 30 meters away. Yeah. So distance-wise, they are all quite far. And then when it comes to basement, just now Wyler has mentioned, so most of the services are tucked here. So as you come down from the ramp, all these are tucked away. So within the so-called the car park itself, all the red one depicts all the lift lobby for every individual block. Okay, and then this two is the lift lobby for the clubhouse. That means you come into the development, you can take a lift directly down. Yeah, especially when there is a rain, you can use the basement to link to every block. Section-wise, the floor height is about 2.7, typical for all, except the top floor, which is 4.5. And then there's a few summary I want to touch on some of the design. Majority of all these units are actually north-south facing. And then no unit facing the Tampines Avenue 10. Okay. And then two large thematic landscape, okay, with a dual clubhouse design. One over here and the other one over here. Then all the bin center substation, they are sunken away from view. And then on top of that, tennis court is also sunken. All the top floor units having 4.5 meters, that means living dining space. You can actually put in the loft you want. And then all the towers, only 4 units design, which means you actually get very good privacy. And then lastly, also, okay, the design intended as to do certain contrast. If you can see the color of the building, that means gray and brown to contrast against the landscape. This is actually intentional. This is the aerial view that you can see over here. Entrance, one big thematic link to the next one, and all the blocks are surrounding. Yeah, all of them having the same height and very good distance away. This is a night view, very stunning night view. Yeah, so when you come back, imagine you stay in any of these units, this is the view that we will get. Yeah, the whole thing is actually grows in the night. I think okay. In terms of architecture, this is a view taken from the so-called the 50-meter pool. Architecture-wise, we wanted to express the building vertically. So we actually brings in accent color of this brown that runs all the way down. to highlight the verticality, okay, and then in contrast to the surrounding. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is the Parc House. This is a very unique clubhouse for EC development. So when we first started this, we actually look at what is in the so-called Central Park. We look at some of the elements. There is a curve, very interesting, okay? And then we use this as part of the inspiration that we're going to have, yeah. And then in Central Park, you have some of the so-called the main parks that is very centralized in a sense. That means you have a focus point. Yeah. So everybody surround it, look into it, yeah. And then we also look at some of the buildings that is around. Guggenheim, I think a lot of you know, this is done by a famous architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. So we adopt the so-called the curve element, yeah, for our development. So in the clubhouse, what we wanted, okay, is something that continuous. That means from the ground level, you can walk straight up all to the second level, the viewing deck. And then this gesture actually goes all the way and continue and end up right in the middle where the focus point is. Yeah. And then of course the space actually heightens from the lowest point all the way up. And then the space in between. What you get on the big scale, you have a deck ramp. When you go up to the so-called the view out terrace, you actually have two barbecue pavilions over there. In terms of space-wise, you have a changing room that is facing so-called the HDB side, the back. And then it has a steam room, library, function room, and all the way up to the highest point, which is the gourmet room. Yeah. Later you can see in the build-out model. This is a view that you look down from the central space. We wanted this clubhouse to be the focus point. Yeah. The center of the whole landscape space. We intentionally put in the landscape that is surrounding it so that it brings out the so-called the forms of the building. Okay, I think it will be quite nice, especially at night when the thing grows. Yeah. This is another view look from the garden trail. You can see the forms of the building actually spiraling up. It has water curtains. And then, of course, the two structures at the top are the so-called the barbecue pavilion. I think this one I will let Anne elaborate a little bit more. Yeah. Arrival hall is the next thing that I want to touch on, because this is the first place that everybody, or first impression that everybody gets when you come to the development. You want to continue the so-called the curve element, okay? But you want to approach it a little bit different. Look at the picture on the left. This is actually quite a famous picture, taken from so-called New York. The backdrop is actually a Manhattan Bridge, okay? What I like about this picture is that the building actually frames the view. Yeah, the building acts like a gateway, okay? We have something similar over here. We wanted to continue the curve element, and then it continues, so it actually helps to frame the view of the so-called the drop-off. And then this is what you get, yeah. The Park Central Arrival Hall. So over here, you have a nice drop-off. And then we have a so-called a living lounge, where you can actually wait here for the bus to pick up and also drop off. On the second story, you can take a lift or use a stairs. That's where the gym is. The gym actually overlooks into the 50-meter pool. And also, the other end, actually, you look at the arrival hall. So the car, after they drop off, they go down into the basement. You don't see your car anymore. Yeah. So everything is landscape and just activities. I think in terms of the function room, all this, I will let maybe the ID run through later. Okay. Architectural design, I think just now I go through all this. One thing I want to highlight is that the balcony GFA, what we are using here is only 7%. I think in the past, most of the balcony is 10%. You can actually maximize to 10%. Now it's only 7%. What it means is that the 3% or 2% you have, you actually can throw into the unit. So what you buy is actually more so-called usable space. It's not that the balcony is not usable, just that now it's internalized, all the space. This is something also very important that you need to know. And then the other thing is, of course, each unit, the yard space is directly connected to the household shelter, utility room, offering useful storage. You can also use it as a helper's room. And then, yeah, I think that's all on the unit mix. Okay. Unit mix wise, if you see, generally the big units are actually fronting all the major space. That means the pool, you can see the purple color and the pink color. They are all fronting the major landscape space. Then followed by maybe the beige color, which are also quite a big unit. Most of the smaller units are at the fringe, and also some in the middle. Yeah. Unit wise, 3-bedroom, very small, only 81 square meters. This is a very good size for entry level. Yeah. And then 3-bedroom deluxe, we have about 11%. 3-bedroom premium, we have about 18, and then followed by 27, 31, 6.86. Then the last one is, of course, 5-bedroom luxury. It's 4.57. Okay. What I want to touch on is that each of these units, right, as you can see, the area increase as the number goes up. And then we offer different, additional things. Every time you buy a bigger unit, right, you have different features in the unit, which I'm going to share with you. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Okay, I'll start with the so-called the smallest, 3-bedroom deluxe. So as you enter, you have a generous living dining with a balcony in front, a very sizable kitchen with a corner glass, so you can actually bring in light. Okay, the yard is natural ventilated. The household shelter can be used as a store. I think storage is very important for I think most of these units, and then you can also use it as helper room. All the bedrooms are very regular in size. Even the so-called the bedroom tree you see here, the width is actually enough to put in the length of the so-called the bedroom. Yeah. We of course we draw here is a super single. You can even put in a queen size bed actually. Yeah. You tuck it all the way to the end. Yeah.
So this one is the smallest unit type.
Yeah.
And 822 square feet. 3-bedroom come with household shelter and yard. I think will be very, very popular.
Of course, if you move up C2, okay, just for 2 extra meters, okay, what you get is almost a dry and wet kitchen. Yeah. Same thing, kitchen is very sizable. The yard is natural ventilated. All the so-called the bathroom are also natural ventilated for this development. Bedroom wise, regular size, okay, practical layout. And then if you move up to the C3, a little bit more, just now the small bedroom actually now become a regular size bedroom. Yeah. Apart from that, the rest are very similar. I would like to touch on the next one. Yeah. So C5, same thing. You got 3 regular size bedroom and then the naturally ventilated dry and wet kitchen again. So for such a small 87, you get dry and wet kitchen, 3-bedroom, household shelter, and all natural ventilated toilet. It's a very, very practical design. Yeah. The next.
Dry kitchen kind of concept. Because you have dry kitchen and wet kitchen with the yard. So because the fridge and the storage part of it is outside. So this is a very special unit type that we are doing here. You don't see in our previous project with dining and the layout like that. It's almost like a dry and wet kitchen concept, but you don't waste the space of a separate dry kitchen.
Okay. Okay. From C6 onwards, okay, same thing. When you come in, you have these 2 things that we add on is you have a WC for this one. Yeah. And then not only that, the length of the master is actually a lot longer. So with this, you can actually put in maybe a dresser. And then for, let's say, a young family, we have young children, we can put a baby cot, or the children can sleep in that. You have plenty of space in the so-called the master bedroom. Yeah.
990 square feet only.
Yeah.
With a beauty, a bigger, also shelter yard, big, very big and generous master bedroom. Only 990 square feet, which is, I think, another very attractive unit type.
Yeah. The next one we move on is actually, okay, this one has a very unique entrance design. So you come with a foyer. We are integrated so-called the DB, shelving, wardrobe, and then integrate together with the so-called dry kitchen. This one you can later take a look something similar in the show unit. Okay. The next one I'll touch on is C8. This one is a show unit. Interesting design. Why? Because when you come in, again, you have a dry and wet kitchen concept. And then behind, you have a household shelter, WC, all these are natural vents. On top of all the 3 regular bedrooms, you actually have one more study. This study you can convert. That means you have an option to choose to move the door to the side. And then this becomes attached to the master. I think because of the COVID, I think people work from home more regularly. This actually offers you the opportunity to work from home as a home office. Also, again, as I mentioned, it's a young family. That's where their children can be. Later, you all can take a look at the show unit. Okay. As we move on to the D are the 4 bedrooms. Same thing. We have okay, the living dining is actually wider in this case. So you have a front back living dining. Okay, and then of course another bedroom towards the back. The yard space are all very generous and a very regular design. Okay. Smallest 4 bedroom, yeah. Okay. So when it comes to the D3, 112 square meters, this one offer you again more and more things. So you have a foyer come in. We have a very different, unique so-called entertainment kitchen that's attached to the living dining and also attached to the large balcony. This one is good for entertainment, and then it makes the space look very huge. The different design over here is that we separate the yard and the so-called the household shelter and WC away from the kitchen. This one is also quite practical. A lot of people like it. The bedroom wise are all very regular. Master bedroom, of course, is the spacious. And then for D4, okay, the difference is just now the smaller bedroom actually become a regular. Apart from that, you also have the foyer. And then a kitchen, a large balcony, all the regular design for the bedroom. Okay, this is a D5. Okay, again, it's a very different design. It's only 118 square meters. So when you come in, you have a foyer, integrated storage and dry kitchen. And then you split all the yard away. Living dining side by side. And then with a very large balcony space, one of the bedroom over here, you can see the corridor actually very short. Okay, 1, 2, 3 bedrooms behind. What we introduced here is a his and her so-called wardrobe space with special storage, which the ID will run through later. Pay attention to this. This one is quite unique because I think wardrobe space is one that I think everybody so-called wanted. So you have a huge wardrobe space. Walk-in wardrobe also can be converted into. And then apart from that, the rest are all very practical bedroom layout. Okay. For this is the next one is the 5-bedroom design. So when you come to 5-bedroom, you actually have an extra bathroom. Again, when you come in, you go through a foyer, dry and wet kitchen, you go to the yard, living dining side by side, balcony. You go through, you have a junior suite that comes with an ensuite toilet. And then on top of that, 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom. Again, this one you still have the his and hers walk-in wardrobe. Okay, a few things that we want to touch on, just a summary. Okay, all the master bedroom able to fit in a king size bed and 2 side tables. This one. And then of course the typical C6 onwards, this one I mentioned, the master bedroom is actually a bit bigger, longer. This one can put in a so-called king size bed and dresser. 3 is, I think, the very wide and spacious living room. Okay, view over the balcony overlooking the grand landscape. This one applies to D5, E1, and E2. This one is the one with the side-by-side living dining. And then high ceiling for living dining for the top floor, 4.5, which means you can put in the loft space. And then number 5, squarish balcony for practical use. Yeah. And then of course, regular efficient layout will minimize corridor space. When you have less corridor space, it means you convert that into usable space, which is bedroom and others. And then signature front-facing kitchen with balcony for type D, 3A, 3B, and D4. Yeah. Each unit with the yard space directly connected to the household shelter utility, offering useful storage. Just now I mentioned storage space very important. And all kitchen and so-called bathroom are natural ventilated. Okay. Landscape design concept, I will let Anne go through with you.